Team with engineering and different departments is also adding value in the process, and not only looking at the basic elements, but basically getting them into a more developed state, which I think also has the quality of being entrepreneurial. So in that context, Professor, how do you encourage entrepreneurship through this framework of engineering in your graduates?
Right, Deepamala, as I told you earlier, entrepreneurship is something that we value and treasure very much at the university. We can do in various ways. In the teaching itself, we don't spoon feed. We actually provide a learning environment, or we actually try hard to enhance that, improve that learning environment where students actually develop their capabilities in that context. For example, we have, say, Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering. If you consider a first year engineering student, you actually provide a lot of guidance to the students to do their activities and the practicals and all that. When they go to the second year, third year, fourth year, you give minimum guidance, and they have to come out with a product or a solution. They have to create their own system and things like that. So that way, that is just an example. That way we are
in the deep end.
In the deep end, yes, exactly. So we actually expose them to the real world, and how to look at the problem in a holistic manner rather than spoon feeding. That is through the education system, by providing a learning environment. And we do quite a lot of other provide freedom to students. Say for example, Morocco, we have some labs open 24 hours managed by the students, and they provide incubators for the students to, when they have free time, they can go there and develop their own things and try to experiment that and things like that. So
now this incubation, again, it's an important concept that one needs to understand.
Right.
Is it possible to elaborate?
Yeah, incubation is something that we provide facilities for people having ideas to do research and experiment, and then come out with developments and things like that. And we provide that background, we provide the support, we provide the supporting environment with the expert advice, with the equipment, facilities and things like that. So that is the concept of incubation. In some countries we have incubators outside, in the sense that a whole system or a center like free trade zone, we have a full zone for incubation. And there can be very specialized incubation, like a Silicon Valley. You actually promote a specific aspect of maybe electronics or rubber or something like that. And we have little incubators in the university in different departments and things like that, but we actually try hard to have a bigger incubation center, and at least now to link up with various little centers.
So I guess
that
is an area that Sri Lanka needs to look at to have.
Sure.
So
it's
at a primitive stage, is it now, or can
we have some centers coming up, but still not really. That's a part of the ecosystem. And if you talked about the ecosystem, and then we need to have those kind of facilities. And at the moment, that is a gap. And when you have that kind of a gap, people having ideas, they don't have expert advice, they don't have facilities, they don't have money, venture capital kind of a thing to experiment and come out with a product or something like that. So that is a gap in the system, national innovation ecosystem.
So that is something that has to be identified and addressed.
Exactly.
So according to your knowledge and experience, Professor, what has to be done to actually address this particular gap, which is actually very crucial?
I think we need to consider, as intellectual, we need to influence who actually make policy, and we need to support policy making so much. And the ministries will have to look into these aspects of how other countries developed and all that. We have actually a very good science and technology minister, Professor Tissavitarna, who has a very clear understanding of what has happened in Korea and these countries and things like that. But likewise, all the ministries, and starting from the Prime Minister, even the President, and expert advisors, consultants that we get. I think we need to put our brains together and then decide exactly how to do that. I think it is happening little by little. So for example, we have some Japanese consultants in the Ministry of Enterprise Promotion, Enterprise and Investment Promotion, Enterprise Development and Investment Promotion, and they are looking at various kinds of these ecosystem adopted in other countries and how we can do it. And then we have the SME sector is there. We have the Vidata program is there, actually science and technology project. So that is for the small and medium enterprises. So I think little by little this is happening, and we need to have a very clear idea without having self-interest. But if you put the country first, and if you consider the holistic one, and if you try to put our brains together so that we all are aligned in a concept and identify strategic industries, strategic directions that we need to go, I think we all can be aligned in that direction.
So you quoted some examples of how it has already happened, but this particular vision you're talking about, has that dialogue started to happen? That is where all these brains come together and actually address these causes. Is there an active dialogue?
I think it is happening because say universities outreaching, universities consulted by the ministries and the policymakers and the departments, and the universities provide education to suit that. As for example, we have a Department of Management of Technology, and the management of technology is a very specialized field, and this is a new field which actually started somewhere in 1985 in the United States, and where they identified when they lose competition to countries like Japan, they are all corporate heads, put together their heads and find out what is really happening, and they identified that they are not really managing technology very well, and that is the beginning of the management of technology as a discipline. So the idea here is that technology and the business strategies should be aligned, and technology based development. So we provide education. I think in this part of the world we don't have those many courses, and it is the only MBA course that we have in Sri Lanka, management of technology. So I mean, when we produce these kind of graduates, when they go to their own organization, they actually talked about how technology can be aligned with the business strategies and things like that. So little by little, I think we are influencing. We might not have power, but we have power to influence. So
basically it's extremely important where management also comes into the picture, and management of technology also comes into the picture.
Exactly, yes.
So again, it's an integrated process that we are talking about. So Professor, I think that was quite a lot of information to grasp, and also we identified sometimes gaps in the field where we can develop, and especially the process of incubators and having incubation processes, because that is where I guess ideas can materialize and manifest in real life that will add value to the economy. So I think the knowledge that you have imparted today at the round table will also give us an idea of engineers, as you said, as nation builders, and also how the ecosystem that facilitates innovation has to fall in place, that is with a dialogue, action and a lot of strategy. So thank you so much, Professor, for joining us. And we were speaking to Professor Ananda Jayawardhene. He's also the President-elect of the Institution of Engineers and also the Dean of the Faculty of the Morato University. So thank you very much for watching us tonight. Good night.
Good night.
And have a good night. Thank you.